episode of CCU TV, find out more about our new president, Dr. Sweeting.
Also discover the heart behind the prayer team and learn how you can get involved.
Finally, learn more about this presidential election and how it connects to Marvel's Avengers. I'm Will Whittington.
And I'm Nathan Valdez. Recently, CCU held its annual homecoming and family retreat. Alumni and families participated in a variety of activities over the weekend. These activities range from CCU sport games, top golf outings, and a carnival. The carnival consisted of food trucks, games, s'mores, and even a hot air balloon. The weekend was, in all, a great time for students to see family and past alumni. It was much enjoyed by all, and we can't wait for next year's event.
On the topic of events, the Fall Dance. CCU does a great job at hosting the Fall Dance. This year, the Cougars danced the night away at Bronco Stadium, where the theme was once again Jersey Night. Fall Dance is a great way to facilitate the community here at CCU and in a fun and upbeat way. Students were thrilled for the dance and were not disappointed at all. Going to the Fall Dance is always a great way to release some stress and let loose for a night.
Favorite type of music is R&B and hip hop, preferably Drake or Travis Scott.
Rap music and also singer-songwriter. So if you make your own music, that's great.
Denver Broncos.
Cowboys!
Denver Broncos. But she's wearing a Bronco jersey.
My Cowboys.
The Denver Broncos.
What? This is a great location. I would have a DJ play a little more, better music. More food.
I would have different kinds of food, like tacos.
If you missed the fun at the Fall Dance, make sure you catch the next one. The next dance will be held in the spring, so make sure you check it out and show us your moves. But maybe you're looking to move in a different way, say across the country, the world.
I think Australia would be a great place to go. Speaking of going across the country, the Study Abroad Fair was great this year. CCU partnered with multiple different companies to put this together, including Veritas Christian Study Abroad and American Institute for Foreign Studies. CCU put together another Study Abroad Fair, and it was amazing. There were a plethora of different stations set up, and the atmosphere was very exciting, as many different students are interested in the Study Abroad programs. Some of the countries that this fair highlighted were Spain, Sweden, Germany, Australia, and Argentina. Here's what CCU student Bryce Merton has to say about the fair this year.
The fair was great this year. It was interesting to see all the different location options. Each worker at the tables were friendly and made me very interested in possibly studying abroad for future semester. I would love to go to Australia, and I'm glad CCU set this up for all students. I'm also happy with CCU for the opportunity they've given all of the students to possibly go study abroad in the future.
There have been so many different CCU students that have studied abroad in another country, and I've never heard of a bad experience from anyone.
Well, on the topic of world news and around the world, the UN has had a busy month of meetings to discuss the various concerns and threats that people are facing. Among them, antimicrobial resistance, AMR, has become a pressing issue. Jacob Sullivan has more on that topic.
Antimicrobial resistance is a dangerous developing occurrence in medicine. Bacteria that contains diseases such as tuberculosis, HIV, malaria, and influenza are adapting to resist the antibiotic drugs that are commonly used to combat these diseases. To learn more, I asked Dr. Parker of CCU to help identify this threat.
So the idea is we have these wonderful antibiotics that are able to combat bacterial infections. They've been one of the greatest boons to modern medicine of any treatment we have. Unfortunately, their overuse, not only as pharmaceutical agents, but in things like agriculture, has led to increased resistance to those same antibiotics in different types of bacteria. So unfortunately, the UN has very little power on its own, but what they've done is by making this an international issue, a global issue, they're encouraging their member nations to take action. So each member nation now is trying to create an initiative where we work on finding better ways to use existing antibiotics and to incentivize creation of new antibiotics. So just by recognizing and understanding the critical nature of this, that will go a long ways. If we can educate populations on when it's appropriate to use antibiotics and when it's not appropriate to use antibiotics, we can hopefully decrease the use, which will decrease the amount of the drugs in the environment and hopefully slow down the development of new resistance.
Yes, it is important that we work to reduce the chances of these antimicrobial resistant diseases from producing. If these diseases were to spread rapidly, severe effects may be felt throughout the world, including a high mortality rate. I'm Jacob Sullivan of CCU TV in Lakewood, Colorado.
UN is pressed for further research into solutions for this issue, but it is important to remember that the great physician is the protector of all humanity. For more information on antimicrobial resistance, visit www.who.int.
Speaking on information, John Andrews is coming to speak on Monday, October 17th at 7 p.m. John Andrews is the former head of the Centennial Institute, returns to CCU. Andrews recently retired but is coming back to speak at the Centennial Institute Issue Monday Forum. You won't want to miss John Andrews' thoughts on Bill Armstrong's passing and the Trump-Clinton election. Man, do we need a leader inside and out.
Yep, and the School of Business Outdoor Leadership just brought an exciting speaker for an extra credit chapel. Here's Brian Rouse with a closer look on what happened.
The School of Outdoor Leadership invited Kern Ducati, an outdoor adventurer, to a recent extra credit chapel. During his time, he talked about his experience hiking the Pacific and Appalachian Crest Trail, totaling over 4,000 miles of hiking.
So in 2012, on April the 5th, I took the first step. And it was way easier than everything building up to that point. So when I was living in Alaska, I was actually working 3 jobs. So everything that allowed me to get to hike the Appalachian Trail was a combination of generosity of the people that I lived with for free and working 3 jobs for like 6 months. So that was the not fun first step part of it.
After Kern's talk, we were able to ask him more about how God has influenced him through adventuring.
One thing that I would really encourage people to do getting ready to go on an adventure is to not over-plan or over-prepare. So much of what goes on in the backcountry or like on a through hike, you have to learn and figure out along the way. If you over-plan and over-prepare, you kind of sort of take the new experiences out of it, and so many times a lot of the details have to work themselves out after the fact. So how has adventuring helped me grow with God? There's a lot of things that you experience during adventure that you don't necessarily experience in a non-adventurous kind of front country setting, whether that's like a lack of water or a lack of provision or just like exposure to the elements. You're kind of stripped of a lot of like the comforts of life, and you have to learn kind of how to deal with that. And a lot of that is having the faith that God is going to provide and that God is going to help you get through some of the struggles that you're dealing with that you wouldn't normally deal with in an everyday front country situation.
Footage was from Kern's movie Walk North. This has been Brian Rouse in Lakewood for CCU TV.
With that chapel just happening, we still have other extra credit chapels coming up in the future for any student needing extra credits. And man, I think we could all use a few of those.
And coming into CCU, October 3rd marked down Sweeting's first day as president of CCU. President Sweeting and his wife addressed the student body at chapel on October 4th. They shared details about their personal lives, excitement for CCU's missions, remorse for Armstrong's passing, and a passion about CCU's future.
I don't believe that you can get a really good education, excuse me for saying this, at a Harvard or Yale anymore. I just don't. On the undergraduate level, you can learn many things, but the vision and the centrality of Christ and the scriptures and truth and goodness and beauty, I mean, it's a relative world. And so there are a handful of schools where you can get that vision, who believe in that vision, and CCU is one of them. And it makes me really happy to be here. And students too. I mean, I love students, and we are supercharged and filled with hope by being with you.
Don Sweeting has big shoes to fill as Armstrong's successor. New funding is needed to continue campus redevelopment, and a growing student body requires more professors. Even though Sweeting's background is different from Bill Armstrong, he says they hold the same convictions as Christians and conservatives. Welcome to Colorado and to CCU, Mr. Sweeting. All of us here at CCU TV are excited to have you as new president of CCU.
Voter registration update. The election season is in full swing and the Centennial Institute's 1776 scholars are still going strong. They've already registered over 100 students to vote in Colorado. Ballots drop on October 17th, so register soon if you want to get a mail-in ballot. If you have a Colorado's driver's license, you can register to vote online at govotecolorado.com. If you're from another state, you can still vote in Colorado using your Colorado address. That's good news, since this is one of the 5 critical swing states that will decide the outcome of the election. To learn more, stop by the voter registration table in Leprino, Tuesdays and Thursdays after chapel until 3 p.m. Last day to register on campus is October 13th.
Speaking of voting, presidential debates. There's still one presidential debate left before the election. So if you haven't been to one of the CCU watch parties, you haven't missed all the fun. Ellen Dinsmore is here to give us a taste of what's been going on.
CCU's AEI Executive Council has hosted debate watch parties for the 3 debates that have gone down thus far. We've had trivia contests, lots of bad Hillary jokes, and more popcorn than is probably normal. About 70 students have joined in each party. CCU's Ryan Ritchie shared her thoughts on the first debate and how it will impact the outcome of the election.
Trump's best issue is always going to be business. So every time they're talking about unemployment, inflation, what they can do to increase employment here, he wins it every time. Guys, come on, this is an important one. Ultimately, vote jobs. You can't lose.
Friends, this is shaping up to be one of the most exciting elections of our lifetime. Even the kiddos are getting excited.
Hillary is bad, and she's a big liar, and she killed 4 of our soldiers. Make America great again.
Well, she sure has it all figured out. This is Ellen Densmore in Lakewood, CCU TV.
Thanks, Ellen. The last debate is Wednesday, October 19th. The party will be held in Leprino 170 at 6:45 p.m. You won't want to miss it.
And staying in the pool of politics, a new ad campaign has just been released of famous actors campaigning against Trump, most of which are from the 2012 movie Avengers. The public influence has caused quite the stir-up.
With the coming election over 2 highly controversial candidates, there's a big stir-up over the unique commercial. Our favorite stars, including Robert Downey Jr., Mark Ruffalo, Scarlett Johansson, and a multitude of others, ask that the public take the initiative and vote for the right candidate. The title of the clip by Wiki Truths is called Avengers Campaign Against Trump.
On Tuesday, November 8th, this country will make one of the most important decisions in its history. You have a chance.
You have an obligation
to be a part of that decision.
You might think it's not important. You might think you're not important.
But that's not true. And the only way we can prove that to you is by having lots of famous people.
Lots of famous people.
Lots and lots of famous people repeating how important.
Important.
How
important it is.
Register.
Vote.
But you only get this many famous people together if the issue's
One that truly matters to all of us. A disease or
ecological crisis or
a racist, abusive coward who could permanently damage the fabric of our society.
Do the math. Do we really want to give nuclear weapons to a man whose signature move is firing?
Firing things?
But we can end this nightmare before it begins.
We can save the day.
for our children.
For our children.
For our children. For our communities.
For our communities.
For our communities.
For America.
For America. For America.
As you can see, this unique approach to calling for action has caused some trouble. Viewers complain the ad is biased towards the liberal candidate and is a misuse of public influence through characters that are well known and loved. It does not give the full side of the story. Others appreciate the outlook and hope more movie stars continue to voice their opinion. This coming November will prove just how effective this campaign really was in promoting voter initiative. This is Maya Goodyear, reporting from the CCU campus with CCU TV.
Thanks, Maya.
Speaking of entertainment, are you a fan of watching classic movies? CCU hosts a film club every year that selects a theme to pick specific worthwhile films. The club meets weekly in Leprino 206 on Thursdays at 5:45 p.m. and typically goes till 9 p.m. The theme for this year is classic films from the 50s. These films were part of a progressively changing period in industry style, in addition to new filming techniques. The club meets weekly in Leprino 206 on Thursdays at 5:45 p.m. and typically goes till 9 p.m. The theme for this year is classic films from the 50s. These films were a part of a progressively changing period in industry style, in addition to new filming techniques, such as the increasing demand for in-color film. The tone of the stories began to set this decade apart from its predecessors. If you want to find out more about the film club, please contact Professor Nye or Professor Prokop in the English department.
Film club, breakfast club, sports teams, and a prayer team at CCU with many ministries on campus. Many must know about our chapel prayer team. Every chapel, a group of students and faculty volunteer to be available for prayer after chapel. Many students have had the opportunity to receive prayer for anything in life that they need. Another great thing about the prayer team is that they hold a full confidentiality. So with whatever is shared and needing prayer on, it stays confidential.
Looking for a ministry around campus? Can't seem to find one that you're interested in? Maybe it's because your schedule and you have so much to do. Well, how about getting involved with something on campus that you're already required to go? The chapel prayer team can be the right fit for many here. Let's hear from Kendall on how it all works.
Our goal as a chapel prayer team is really just to create an atmosphere of prayer on CCU campus in an aspect that people feel comfortable to come and ask for prayer, whether that's right after chapel or if they just see members of the prayer chapel team around campus, that they would feel comfortable coming up to us and saying, this is what I'm dealing with right now, or this is what the Lord's been doing in my life and I haven't found someone to talk to about it yet, but I know that you guys want to hear these things and that you want to praise God with me or bring burdens before the Lord. I just want the CCU student body to be comfortable to have prayer as a go-to in their relationship with the Lord. And I think a great way to do that is for people to see a group of people who are committed to praying after chapel every Tuesday and every Thursday, and that they're there and that they're going to be doing that for the rest of the year. And so I think the goal is just to kind of create that atmosphere of comfortability and that people can be comfortable in being vulnerable to ask for prayer.
If you're looking for someone to pray for you in any aspect, whether it's for a problem, for praise, or for advice, the prayer team is available for you. Whether your schedule is open or only free after chapel, you can be used in many ways with the ministry. The prayer team is looking for many people of different personalities who are willing to be part of the ministry and are going to be committed to loving others and be open to pray for others. If you're interested in getting involved with the prayer team, you can contact Kendall Lane. I'm Nathan Valdez in Lakewood, CCU TV.
Thanks, Nathan. You can contact Kendall Lane at 479-2231-662. And her email is kendallmckae@gmail.com. That's KENDALLMCKAE@gmail.com.
Going over next, we're going to go to sports. Now we will head over to Studio B with Haley Novacek, who has our sports update.
Hey Cougars! If you weren't aware, there are a lot of sporting events coming up, so listen closely. Women's soccer is kicking off another home game here at the Trailblazer Stadium in Lakewood on October 7th at 12 p.m. Come and support them as they play against Colorado Mesa University. Women's soccer will also be playing in Lakewood at the Trailblazer Stadium on the 9th against Westminster College at 1 p.m. Don't miss it. Our men's soccer team will be in Salt Lake City, Utah on October 7th and will be in Grand Junction on the 9th, playing against Colorado Mesa University. Better catch them next time. The volleyball team will be playing here in Lakewood at the CCU Event Center on October 7th against Adams State University at 6 p.m. and again in Lakewood on the 9th against Fort Lewis College. Come out and cheer on your girls. Keep cheering on your fellow Cougar athletes as they continue in their fall season. I'm Haley Novacek, and this has been your Cougar Sports Update.
Thank you, Haley. The Cougar baseball team is having a 100-inning fundraiser game. Let's go out to Brandon.
The Colorado Christian University baseball team is playing a 100-inning game today. Each of them have asked 30 different people for donations towards this game. However, most of the money they receive will go towards the baseball program.
The Cougars were divided up into 3 different teams. 2 of those teams were filled with position players, and the third team consisted of all pitchers. These Cougars are hoping that they will be able to raise enough money to fly 3 different times in February to compete in preseason action. This is what Coach Peter had to say about the game and the amount of money the team made from the fundraiser last year.
The 100 inning game is a great way for our program to raise a lot of money for travel expenses, food, a lot of jersey items, things of that nature. Our team seems to have a lot of fun with it. Our fans and our parents have a lot of fun with it too. Last year we were able to raise about $30,000 towards our program to help out with all the different expenses that we need.
Free concessions were given out at this game, including hamburgers and hot dogs. Everyone there, from the fans to the team, had a great time. The team seems excited for the upcoming season and the chance to make an impact in the RMAC. Here's what Titan Marler had to say about the event this year and what the team's expectations are for the season.
So the game went great. It was good to get out there with all my teammates and compete in a fun atmosphere, not taken so seriously. Great to fundraise to accomplish the goals we have this year as far as travel and everything else. Some of our goals this year include making it to the RMAC playoffs. That'd be awesome to do it for the first time in the program's history.
This was a very exciting 100-inning game. This is Brandon Hesselberg in Lakewood, CCU TV.
Thank you, Brandon. That sounds like a very exciting game. Make sure you like our Facebook page at CCU TV, as well as subscribe to our YouTube channel to get all the latest CCU TV updates. I'm Will Whittington.
And I'm Nathan Valdez.
We hope you have a great night. Thanks for tuning in.